Those are your in-laws.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday, November 17th, 2025 meeting of the Village of Lansing Board of Trustees. My first order of business is to call roll. Susan Ainsley.
Present.
Carolyn Greenwald.
Here.
Pat Gillespie will be absent tonight, is asked to be excused, and Kathleen Yen. Ronnie Hart is here. Okay, so we have a quorum. The next part of our meeting is public comment, but there's no one online yet and no one in the building. So if someone joins later and they have a comment, we will let them join. So I will move that we close the public comment period.
Second.
Kathleen seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. The next order of business is to approve 3 sets of minutes. No, we can't do them as a group because I was absent on the October 16th meeting. So we can, the first one we will do individually. I think the last 2 we can do because everyone.
No.
Was someone missing from?
Yes.
Okay, then we'll just do them all individually. All right. So I will move the draft October 16th, 2025 meeting.
I'll move the 16th.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Someone else will have to second. Yeah, since I wasn't there. Okay. Any discussion about the meeting minutes?
Just as corrected.
It will always read, the draft minutes notes as reviewed and revised by the board are hereby adopted as the official minutes.
Awesome.
It will always be that.
Okay.
Okay, no further discussion. All those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
We have 3, so that's enough to pass. Okay, October
You have to
20th.
abstain.
Oh, sorry, 1 abstention, and that's me. October 20th, who was Kathleen here for that?
Everyone was here, 20th.
Yeah.
20th, okay. So I will move the draft minutes for October 20th, 2025. Carolyn seconds. Any discussion about the meeting minutes? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. I will move the November 3rd, 2025 meeting minutes.
Second.
Susan seconds. Is there any discussion about those minutes? All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstentions?
An abstention.
Kathleen abstains. Thank you. The next order of business is a resolution to add the new code of ethics to the employee manual. I guess we should.
So the employee manual has a copy of the
Has a
code of
copy.
ethics included, and since we updated the code on the 3rd of November, I would suggest that we update the employee manual with the updated version.
Right. I will move that resolution.
Second.
Susan seconds. Is there any discussion about that? I think it's a good idea to have a second copy there. I was thinking, boy, we should just point, but since the employees are required to read and sign that, then we know that for sure that they've read that. So that's my only discussion. All those in favor of this resolution say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's done. Jody, you have written here, dear.
Yes, the Beers came in today. The old Miller property, which is now owned by Beer Property LLC, has submitted paperwork to join the DMAP program. There are 17 parcels which they own and want to include in the full program. So we just need to do a resolution to accept those into the program.
This is in addition to the ones we discussed at the.
Yes, so we had said before that the Beers wanted to join, but they didn't have their paperwork in. He
Right.
came in this morning, gave me the paperwork, it's all signed. I think I gave everybody a copy of it, so you can see that.
Okay, I'm just making a note here, so I'll have it with the minutes also. Okay, I will propose a resolution to add the Beers property into the DMAP program.
Second.
Carolyn seconds. Is there any discussion about this? All those in favor of adding the Beers property to the DMAP program, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and you'll give us a resolution number later, right, Jody?
Yeah, I could tell you right now, it's 7227.
7227. Res 7227. All right. Thank you for that copy. So the next topic is general discussion. We'll just go around the table. Kathleen, do you have anything?
Yeah, I sent you a list. So just this Climate Smart Community Task Force met on the 30th. And Ashley Siegfried, the Director of Sustainability, Southern Tier 8 Regional Boards, the new advisor. Jerry is continuing along with Chris, but Jerry is continuing, Jerry Sheng is continuing as the advisor for the clean energy communities. He's the Tompkins County Cornell Cooperative Extension liaison.
Right.
And then it was suggested that the village coordinate with the county to incorporate climate adaptation resilient plan actions, the vulnerability assessment, review and evaluation of policies and for sustainability and incorporation of long-term scenario recommendations as part of the, because it dovetails so well with the hazard mitigation process that the county is currently going through. It just provides more longer-term outlook. And then we talked already about the projects, the potential projects, and thank you, Ronnie, for adapting the survey, the community survey, so that it could be put on the website.
Welcome. When do we want to launch that? Is the paper copy ready?
Yeah, and it could just basically be copied as a PDF, if there's a PDF version or just the online version. So it could just be copied right onto the village letterhead.
You want
Maybe
to,
five
how we launched the survey for the comp plan, which was, I developed a list of folks who had listservs or just like lived in a particular neighborhood. Like Susan, for example, was East Point, and could you please send it out to your neighborhood listserv?
Yeah.
So if you want to like officially contact all of the people.
Well, it would be on the website.
Yeah, it's on the
Right.
website as well, but I mean, you'll get a lot more response from an email than you will from putting it on the website.
But it basically looks like this. I can just pass it around, just cross this out, and send it to Jody for the PDF, because you've already got the online version. I don't know if
The
you,
online version does not look like that one, though,
no, looks like this. I just printed it,
with the
the
expanded,
tested, yeah.
yeah, the expanded.
In the email, do you prefer the online version? Do you want people to do because we could send an email to people with a link to the online one or with a PDF, whatever you prefer as your source of information.
If you're sending people an email and they're comfortable with email, clicking on the link is
Preferable.
preferable, because we will get immediate
Yeah.
and trackable
Mhm.
responses rather than by paper. But I thought that it said within the
Yeah,
text
we can
that,
just make a couple copies of this and just leave it in the vestibule and on the counter.
yeah, as long as,
Kathleen, you're not going to get responses unless you reach out to people.
Oh,
So do you want to?
You can leave maybe 5. If it's just there, I'll make the copies.
Did you understand my question?
I did.
So do you want to get the emails of the different neighborhoods to send it out? No. Okay.
Do you think you're going to get responses then? I think it's a great idea to send it out to the different lists. If you want residents to respond to you, they don't just go to the website every day to look and see what's new or what they can fill out. If you send it to them and explain to them what you're doing, I think you'd be better off getting more responses that way.
So the easiest way to do that would be,
Use this the
Just-
same way I did it with the comp plan. I compiled a list, which I can provide to you, of just someone from each neighborhood who is in touch with the rest of their neighbors.
so
Have to,
does the village have that list?
No, I have one that I send to agenda people. I'd be happy to share, that and all the boards.
So yeah, I think for the comp plan, we did it two different ways. We used Jody's list. There's a bigger list because there's the Bolton Point residence list. I don't know if we emailed people from that, no? Okay, so we used Jody's list, and then we also did the outreach.
That has a list
Like
for
neighborhood
Lansing
people.
Trails area.
I have a list for Dart Drive.
Yeah, so I mean,
So if the village has these lists compiled, it would be easier to go through the village rather than through my personal computer.
whatever you want sent out, send it to me and I'll take care of getting it to you.
I will compile for Jody, I'm gonna share with you my kind of one person from each neighborhood list. You might have it, but in case you don't. And then you can use that, and then you can draft it, I can draft an email, it could be from me if you prefer, because Kathleen doesn't check her email as much, saying, or on behalf of Kathleen, or you should probably send it to Kathleen, saying, dear neighbor, like dear people on this list, including like Ronnie and Susan and maybe me from my neighborhood, could you share this with your neighborhood listserv?
Is the,
I'll send it to you.
and the text from, if I'm recalling the text, the introductory text to the survey explains what the survey is. It would just be a matter of cutting and pasting that into the email.
It's basically saying there's a
And
community.
then
Please.
there's a link to the form. Yeah. So everything down to the form could be the body of the letter, then it could be either a link, or if we want to attach a PDF, if they want to print it out and bring it in, if they're uncomfortable with using an online form, then they could do that too.
I believe we wrote that for the comp plan one, and if you prefer, there's a hard copy available at the village office.
And I think it's already in the original text,
Yes,
so,
it is.
and say online or this. And we could also put a notification within our news column on the homepage. If people happen to hit the homepage, they can see that there's a survey related to projects.
Because you did that with the comp plan.
Yeah,
But you get a lot more engagement with the direct email.
yeah, you do. But if people have, it's just another way of having, pulling people into the survey.
Good idea.
And it doesn't take long to do that. So,
Okay.
and then the form is ready to go. I've
Right.
published the page, but I haven't made the link live on the website anywhere. So we'll just need to make
Yeah, I
it.
checked.
No, it's hidden right now. Until we finish, finalize it, I didn't want to make it reviewable, but not usable.
So people could look at it, at the link that you sent,
Yeah, that's the page that the form is on.
right?
Oh,
So that could be shared with the trustees.
I don't think I've seen it. Have you sent it out?
No, it was just the CSC board, or task force, just for people to review to make sure the form was okay. But now we can, if it looks fine, and then we can make it live.
So feel free to share that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll share it with Jody,
Thank you.
so she'll have it too.
So thank you for doing that.
I have a question. You were talking about Jerry Shang. You had in your report that you sent us, you said that he had confirmed the dates. He had not confirmed dates. Do we know for sure, Jody, that we have received both of those checks? From
5,000?
CEC? Yeah, both
Yeah,
5,000.
one of them was for the bridge.
No,
We have received one for bulbs and two 5,000. We said that one 5,000 was going to be used for the Lansing Trail Bridge.
let me confirm that. I thought that there was.
That's what it says in the minutes.
That, I'm afraid that was a separate, okay.
So then we got three $5,000 ones?
We might have received another grant, not from CEC, for the bridge. I want to confirm that it's not something from the county trails. So let me
I
confirm.
have it written down now, so I brought it to the last meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how the bridge would fit.
We would have
And
needed,
we would have had to have written something up and submitted it to him about the emissions reduction or however you would make.
and there is an email, there were no projects that the trustees identified. So I can
Telling you
pull
what
that,
we received. We
pull that
received
email up.
bulk money, 5,000 for the trail and another 5,000.
There should be two NYSERDA checks.
They were in the general fund, right?
It would be in the general, yes. And they were both in last budget, I believe.
Okay, I'll confirm. I've got emails for that related to that project, so I will see and make sure that we're correct with that. Okay, so we just need to continue to make sure we've got the $10,000 before we spend 10,000, we only have 5. Since we seem to have already spent 5, we've only got 5 more to spend.
Okay, so does everybody realize, and Carolyn and I had this discussion, when you get a grant, they will tell you what paperwork they need you to do.
Yes.
If we know we're getting a grant for $5,000, we will also, we'll book that as a revenue, and then we'll also book the expenditure. So you're talking about you have this $5,000 to spend, you have to account for it in your budget. So the one 5,000 came last year, so it's not even in the budget this year.
Right.
So you're not gonna have another revenue coming in or an expenditure. See what I'm saying? Unless you have unless you're using that, it's the paperwork timing. So the way you're talking about trying to come up with new projects,
Yes.
you come up with a new project for the next year's budget.
Yes.
And then you can use your paperwork to say, well, this is how we spent it. But if you don't spend it, the revenue, when you get it, it goes into fund balance.
Right. The thing that we are required to do by CEC is state how the monies were used and were they related to the projects that would affect climate mitigation or clean energy, et cetera. So we would have to do that when we spend the money and just let them know.
You sort of have to approve it, right? It has to be approved.
And you have to have a resolution from the task force recommending it to the board. The board would then have to pass that resolution.
So we don't have a resolution to receive the grant. Or we do have a resolution to receive the grant.
We need a resolution to spend it. We need a resolution from the CEC recommending a project, and then a resolution from this board approving the project when we have a project.
So did we have a resolution when we supposedly got approved for a project? When
We haven't been, and we don't think we've been approved for a project. I don't think that the bridge was this same money.
I don't think so.
Because it doesn't fit the criteria.
Right.
John knows.
So there should be 2 projects.
This is the problem when this stuff does not come through me.
It did
It
come.
needs to come through me.
It did come
We
through
need to
you.
make sure that I get whatever grant information, like I think Kathleen and I were talking about this, the paperwork needs, like, if you have paperwork, it needs to come to the office. It
It's-
needs to be on file here.
In this case, there's no paperwork that they send you with this grant money because it's basically, there's nothing that, I guess there's no management of the money until we start deciding which projects we want to use it for. The two $5,000 were basically what they call free to use money, where we could use it on anything, but then that's what we were first told, but now we're being told that they have to be related to certain things.
Oh, so maybe we did use it for the bridge then? Because the reason I don't think we did is because it doesn't fit the criteria.
I don't think so either.
But if they told us it was free, maybe then we did use it for the bridge.
And I think that we applied for our second grant for the bridge from the county for parks and trails. That's my recollection, so I will confirm that. The problem with the money we get from CEC going forward, and I thought we had stated this when we first received the grant monies, is that they needed to go into an account number under our budget that would show that it was CEC monies. And I thought that that was.
There is not a line item for CEC.
But can there be? Can we say?
There's a code there's accounting code that you can use,
Right.
that they set. You can't, I mean, it would probably go under another.
Like a sub number that says this is CEC.
Could we designate like something like 2.5 is only CEC?
The other thing would be, is if it's coming in CEC and it's earmarked and separate, and it's not going to be part of your budget, it's going to be total separate, it could go through trust and agency, I guess. But
That might be a possibility. But I was, when we first got the first check, during our discussion, I had mentioned that we need to find a way, a budget line to put it under so that we would be able to, like we're trying to do right now, account for it. And that wasn't done. And I don't know if we just didn't ask in the correct way or track it down, but that I knew that we would have to account for the money when we start doing the projects, but I didn't know how. But now we're finding out how we have to account for it.
because usually what happens is the grant money comes in a year and you spend it in that year.
Right.
The problem is, it sounds like it came, you're looking at the one that came last year or the year before.
Right.
And nothing was ever done.
There's no requirement that we spend it within a year. It was just basically money that we got for achieving goals within CEC. And that's all. And there's still no deadline to have the projects done. The money's ours and we can do it whenever, we just have to.
Well, it's
let
in
them
fund
know.
balance now. You just have to budget an expenditure.
So you can title it the Clean Energy Fund, because that is how they've been
No, there's
referring
no
to
such
it.
thing as a CEC, fund like that.
You
There's
can't-
your general fund, your water fund, and your sewer fund.
Right.
And then there's line items within that account for how the money came in, if it was from the state, if it was from the federal, if it was from building permits, if it was from water rents. I mean, they have
But
codes for all.
Can we just make up a code like 16.9.3 is other/CEC?
General, it would be under
No.
general.
You can't,
That's
there's no line,
an
there's no
expenditure.
empty
That's an
line,
expenditure.
there's
No.
no empty line that you can make the CEC line?
Okay.
Okay.
Unless you put it in, I would say, put it in trust and agency and have it designated.
Maybe next time we do that.
Okay. Yeah, we just didn't ask for it the right way. Okay, now that's, so the thing
We
that
just
I,
have to have paperwork.
the thing that I will do, well, we won't, there's no paperwork from them other than just receiving the check. That's all that they promised to send us. So I will check on the monies we spent on the Lansing Trails Bridge, because I think that might have been county money for trails, parks and trails. But I will confirm that and let everyone know. I can do that tonight or tomorrow morning. I'll go back and find the emails. So, okay. That was the one question that I had on yours, Kathleen. So go ahead. I apologize.
No, that was important to clear up, so thank you. Cuba Lake Watershed, October 22, was in person at Bolton Point. They had a very brief, literally 4-minute business meeting to approve minutes. And then Steve Riddle, the general manager for Bolton Point, gave a similar presentation.
already? Oh, the October 22?
No, this is different from the event that was at Bolton Point, where our state legislators also attended and talked about the legislative landscape. So there have been several Bolton Point events using pretty much the same presentation, video and slideshow and presentation, and plus the tour of the facility. And then you all got the packet that I forwarded from the chair. And just so you know, the packets include the recordings of the meetings, they include the recordings of the presentations, the YouTube clips, and everything. So the next one is on the 19th, that's this week. And Dr. Aller from Cornell Cals is presenting on biosolids. So that should be interesting. Tompkins County, the environmental management, the chair updated the legislature Planning, Energy, and Environmental Quality Committee on the biosolids resolution. The modified resolution was approved by Peak. Let's see. And it's on the agenda for the 18th for the full legislature. The Water Resource Council, God bless you. Water Resource met this afternoon at 4:15, and most of it was spent editing the Education Committee's draft Cuba Lake TMDL fact sheet for municipalities. Right now it's a 2-page fact sheet. And a suggestion was made to consider presenting to the Tompkins County Council of Governments in January to provide some training on best management practices. It's a really good draft, in my opinion. The chair also reported on EMC and WRC. They both attended the peak meeting and provided information, answered questions on biosolids. So the resolution on the 18th that's going to the full legislature is different from the EMC one. It's been modified. It did pass unanimously by that committee. The Core Advisory Group, basically it was an emergency dispatch supervisor, Brian Bowman presented. It's an overview of training, computer-aided dispatch system, data operations, how calls are processed, information requested from callers, how they decide who to dispatch, and how they manage on-scene requests from responders. Next meeting is the 15th, and it's basically everybody's doing their 2026 planning. I already talked about the Local Water Matters Day. There is a QR code, and I have all of the handouts, but there's a QR code to all the handouts. And I think I copied you guys on that. Today also was the Code Blue shelter visit, and that was great. There was a presentation where we met the operator. Okay, so I'll back up. The county owns the building, and they have contracted for Volunteers of America to operate the facility. So it'll be a 24/7 facility with staff on duty 24/7. They have their own security. So DSS Commissioner, Facilities Director, Volunteer for America Director of Housing and Shelter Services, Operation Personnel, all gave a presentation followed by a tour. So,
Excuse me, did they happen to say how many people they could hold within that
the
facility?
capacity is about 70. They've got one 8,000 square foot building, and others a 3,000 square foot building behind that. So, and with Code Blue, they can also, they're not held to quite the same capacity standards. They can add more beds.
Right.
So it's pretty well set up. They did an incredible job in an incredibly short period of time. It should be opened on Monday, the 24th, and it'll go through April 15th. And they're also,
Where's the building?
on Cherry Street,
It's the old found business,
the old.
found location.
So they've done a ton, putting in cameras, upgrading the whole place. The cots, everything was set up. I mean, the amount of work was incredible, how the whole county, all the departments came together. So they had tours today, as in addition to staff training, and everybody was on site. So it was really informative. So the warming center is 8 to 4 with case management referral. They will be transporting people there and back, and to appointments, et cetera. So, and then the nighttime shelter part is 4 to 8, so it's around the clock. They have meals. And yeah. So a lot of real good questions. And then policy update, Jody and I met briefly to go over, and Jody sent everybody the table of contents that had been updated, so thank you for that. And then spoils debris policy, we have a draft outline and a draft, and we got the information from NICOM for examples. It was the town of Colony, and then the Department of Transportation and some other stuff. So John and Mike and I are meeting tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock to flesh out the draft outline. And let's see, NICOM, all of you that started to watch it, even if you didn't finish, you got the whole packet. Deadline's the 20th for the survey, and that's it.
Thank you, Kathleen. Susan?
I did the survey.
Good.
And the only thing I have from Bolton Point is the 50th anniversary celebration next spring.
Yeah.
And then all their meetings, of course, at the end of the month, so, and new services also at the end of the month. But that's all for me.
Thank you, Susan.
When is the Cuca Heights?
That thing's on Thursday. It's this upcoming Thursday.
Oh,
Thursday at 11.
Thursday at 11?
Which is the same time that
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Carol?
I met with a professor from Cornell named Kate Chesborough, who is the professor of a design studio in the landscape architecture school. And she responded to our request from the Greenway Committee to work with us on our Parks and Recs plan. So I hope to have something similar to the town of Lansing's a master plan in place, maybe by the end of 2026. And one of the things we need for that is drawings of our current parks and then future plans. And what the Greenway Committee thinks is, at a minimum, if the Cornell Student Studio takes over a program, at least we'll get drawings of the current parks, even if their future plans don't really jive with ours. So I was here when a different design studio came and presented something at the mall, and I found that the presentation was not grounded in the needs of the village or the abilities of the village. So I stressed to the professor that I'm super excited that they want to take on our parks program, but I would love to see something grounded in the realities of the village. So no buildings with bathrooms, because we don't have any plans to put that in, for example. No bridges over properties that we don't own, something like that. At the same time, we do want to just come from it from a fresh perspective. And one of the things that they're very interesting is trees for heating and cooling purposes. So I thought you would be excited. She specifically mentioned that. I was like, we are interested in that. So there are some things that maybe the Greenway Committee wasn't necessarily planning for our parks, like thinking about them as for heating and cooling. So that was actually kind of cool to hear. And, so this is going to be a spring class, huge class. She has over 22 students. Normally she has a much smaller class. She might even have 30 students. And she's not sure how she's going to break them up. I said I'd be happy to walk with them at the parks to show them, I think boots on the ground is super important. She wanted to have them walk from park to park to park, because one of the other things I said was I want a trail map of the village parks. How will you get from one park to another? Do you have to take this, when can you take the subway, when can you take the sidewalk, when can you take a trailer, when do you have to walk on the street? And so she said she wanted them to walk that, and I was like, that's actually kind of far if they're gonna start at Black Chin and walk to all the parks. Maybe you don't have them do, well, I leave that to her.
But if once you're here at the village office, it's easy to get, like, it would be a couple day venture.
Yeah, more than one
It
day.
would be-
I think she was envisioning like, yeah, anyway. So that project's happening. We are going to check in a few times with them, hopefully to just kind of steer them towards, how much we will be the client versus it'll just be student imagination. And she said it's gonna be a balance. So, anyway, but that's a cool project, and it's something that we wanted, and at the very minimum, we'll have drawings of the current state of the parks. So that's good.
That's really exciting.
I know.
What was her name again? Kate?
Kate, and let me spell her last name for you, because I don't want to tell you the wrong spelling. Sorry, I gotta close out of Kathleen's report. Chesebroughugh, Chesborough.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So yeah, so she contacted us. I never heard back from the other Cornell group we reached out to, which
Yeah,
was
they sent,
design guidelines.
they sent something to us and
Did they
said
reply?
that they rejected it.
Oh, why didn't you tell us? Let's see.
Everyone was copied on it. I didn't.
Oh, I didn't see it. I don't think so.
Okay.
Could you forward that?
Yeah, I can do that. Forward design connect.
Too bad, but I'm wondering why.
They had so many, according to their email, they had so many projects and
Right, but maybe we can design something next year that is more aligned with maybe what their class needs are. Kate had just done a similar project to this in Binghamton, and so they were actually super excited. She told me her boss saw our request and was really excited because it's so local. And, maybe the students could even see some of their ideas before they graduate, because they're going to be sophomores.
yeah.
They might even be able to see something before they leave. So they were really excited in the department about working with someplace so local.
When they walk the trail, we're going to show them the potential new trail? Or is it too soon for that, do you think?
Oh, I don't mind. No, we should show them that. We should at least tell them about it.
Because that goes through a potential future park
Mm-hmm.
across from Donald and Marion
Yeah.
Park, and then the little trail, so.
Yeah. We'll definitely let them know about that. That's it. That's all that's happened in the last 4 days.
But that's a lot.
Oh, but another thing that I was thinking about, sorry, one last thing, is I haven't drafted anything yet, which, as you requested, Ronnie, I haven't done it yet, though, which is kind of an action statement for the Commercial Advisory Board. So I want to take care of that then in the next couple of weeks. But what I wanted to say was, I noticed that either the town or the city has an advisory board out, like, in the newspapers. So they said, like, we're gonna be having an advisory board, like, send your resume if you're interested in attending, which wasn't something that I had really on my mind until I saw that. But maybe we want to do something similar to that too, that we could post on our website. If you're interested in being on the advisory board, submit your application here.
What size board do you want to have?
No, I mean, it has to be small enough that it's practical, but big enough that we get a diverse
What's the
opinion.
perspective?
I was thinking of a mix of residents and businesses, maybe residents who are in the business community, which is almost everybody, right? Everyone's in the business community one way or another. And then businesses themselves. So sort of mix that so we can get two perspectives. And so maybe 6 and 6 would be the max size?
I was just curious if.
I don't know.
I thought,
I'm open to everyone's ideas.
yeah.
So add it to the civic participation.
Yeah, once we get it nailed down, sure.
Yeah, we can put it on, yeah, it's easy enough to add that to potential, yeah. Do that.
And, even the local papers, the free ones and just a PSA kind of thing. just to let them know there is a survey.
I think if we did a press release,
Yeah.
the papers would publish it because I think they'd be interested in the Hammer corridors, big news saying we're having, I think they'd be interested.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay. The only thing I have for tonight is the food boxes will be picked up at noon tomorrow. I'm going to meet them here. I think they're moving them to, I can't
Lansing.
remember if it's the town of Lansing Library or the Tompkins County Library. It's one of the two libraries. They're going to be moving this. So what had happened is they had started looking for places to be storage and distribution, but by the time I got information, they were only mentioning storage. They never mentioned distribution, or I wouldn't have done this. Brittany Earl apologized. She said, yeah, you were like several iterations in the emails along when I contacted her. She said, but no, it's always been distribution and storage. I said, I'm sorry, we can't do that. Not with Jody and or Mike only being here by themselves. And I might be able to come meet, but not always. So she understood. And so they're going to come down tomorrow and move those boxes to where they can be distributed from. So it's not lost. So, yeah.
It's the Lansing Library.
Is it the Lansing? Okay. All right. So anyway, let me check. I want to check something since we don't have it. I want to see about that email that I got about to do a search.
The Design Connect one?
Yeah, I thought that you were copied on that, and that's why I didn't send it.
And maybe while we're waiting, the comp plan, since Pat's not well, when do we expect it? Therefore, then, I'm assuming he's not got tons of energy time at this point.
We don't have any way of
Good night.
knowing. I mean, do you want to ask him, Ronnie, do you want to give him a hard deadline?
So does he have the only copy that's available right now? Digital copy, I mean?
Well, no, we all have the exact same thing. What I was understanding was that he has an expertise in layout.
Mhm.
He makes newsletters professionally for his job. So I thought that the product that we would get if Pat does the comp plan would be very visually appealing and organized and aesthetically easy to read. So I really like that idea, but it has been many months. So I think without a hard deadline, it's hard to prioritize things without hard deadlines, I know for myself. So if you want to give him one.
Is he on the committee?
No.
Yeah, so I can say the trustees requested a copy, and if he could provide a copy, and that we're not really concerned with the accuracy of the URLs type.
Right, well, that's what I said to him at the last meeting was I kind of want his design, because even you or I could do the links. But I really wanted him to do a beautiful layout. I was excited about that. If he does that and then passes it back, I'll finish it off.
I did some research, and it was about the links, and because it was a question that I had whenever I do links, is I try to print the link within the text. Yes, it doesn't look good, but if someone has a printed copy, they can reproduce the link by keyboard. And what I was reading for accessibility is that you can provide a descriptive link like you would normally with the text that says, click here to go to this document type thing. But then next to that, you have in brackets the actual URL so that people who have a printed copy could retype it if they had to. So that's what an accessibility website said they normally do. So that's why I was asking the other day, because if we do a printed copy with, like we had done in the past,
There will be a printed copy in the,
there's no way
all of
of,
us will have printed copies that we.
printed copies are gonna say, click here to open, and it won't, can't click the physical
You'll
document.
just have the link written.
So the link would be next to it, and that may be what Pat is doing.
It could also be two separate documents. There could be an online version and a PDF, and that we could literally have it written out in the PDF one and not.
The issue with two versions is when you make a change in one, you gotta be sure that all those changes are reflected in the second copy.
Okay, I mean, I just want to finish it, so
Yeah, I
whatever.
agree. So I
Makes
could,
it
I could
happen.
ask him, say, if your formatted, polished version of the document is ready, please share it with the trustees, but don't worry about the links. That can be done at the end, and I don't think that would affect anything.
Because I think all of us want to read it one more time. It's been a little while.
Yeah.
Just,
Because we'll get into January and
I agree.
budget, and we have other things.
and then also, we need to have a public hearing,
Yeah,
and I would like to share it with the public.
yeah, if we're having.
I know, but like, I really want to share it and like, hear from them. We might want to make some changes.
Yeah, and I think we've asked a great deal of Pat. If this is his day job,
To do it in his spare time.
yeah.
Maybe, or
No,
maybe
we're
not.
asking a lot. I don't know if it was the planning board. I think it was the planning board. And whoever it was that was sitting over there said, there's a clear line between what he does for his day job and what he feels comfortable about doing for the board.
Well, he volunteered. I didn't even know he does it until he volunteered to do it.
Well, I mean, that's all well and good.
That's good. No, that's,
And it's lovely, he volunteered, but it may have been more than he signed on for.
yeah.
Maybe.
I
I
think
don't
when he
know.
signed on for it, he wasn't signing on for making it accessible. And there are a lot of requirements for it to be an
Well, it
accessible.
sounds really complicated.
It is complicated.
But that was also his suggestion, to make it accessible.
Oh, okay, I thought it was suggested by someone else. Oh, okay.
I'd just like to have it.
If he's doing designs, the accessibility is becoming an important thing. For our website, I know that Kathleen had asked that we make it accessible, and I have audited the pages with the tool that was recommended, which is basically off of Google. And our pages are not 85 to 1, not 100, nothing was 100, 85 to 95% accurate. And that's without a lot of extra money and cost, is probably as close as we can get. But it was basically change the color of backgrounds so that you have high contrast between text and whatever. So that has been done, but the accessibility part is not always simple. So,
It doesn't sound like it.
well, it's just a lot, you have to make it so that at least the online things are readable by machines. And you can tell someone what they're seeing. If they can't, if they visually, they can't see.
I mean, our intent certainly
So,
is to make it as perfect and as wonderful as possible.
As close as we can.
However,
yeah. So anyway, okay, well, I will send, let me make a note to myself here to contact Pat.
maybe he'll feel better. I don't know.
I'll say that once you're feeling better, I won't, say, we want it by tomorrow morning, I don't care how you
Oh, no.
feel. So. Speed about comp plan.
So fingers crossed, we can get something sooner than later.
Okay. I have nothing else, so I will move that we adjourn.
Second.
Susan seconds. All those in favor, say aye. Meeting ended at 8:19.